Hello, Anthony. This is Coach Meadows, and I hope that you're getting an opportunity to view this with your mom and dad. We are very excited to bring this clip to you. And I enjoyed getting to meet you today and hearing about your dog and your inside cat, your outside cats, and the fact that I also wanted to say what a well-mannered young man you were today while you were the number one person to go. You waited so politely, and that's very important, and I want to compliment you on being such a well-mannered young man and what a great job your mom and dad are doing with you. So let's take a moment and take this step by step very simply, and I'll be referencing some points for both mom and dad and that we together can help you, okay? And so what we've done is we've taken through the first 5 steps of our hitting, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and of course we have phase 4 and 5. Phase 4 is when you make contact with the ball, and phase 5 is when you finish. But we're not going to talk about those today. We're going to talk about the first 3 steps and kind of show how you're getting to the contact area. Contact area is important because what we do in phase 1, 2, and 3 is going to determine how well we can actually hit the baseball. And it starts with our starting stance in phase 1. And in phase 1, what I would suggest to your mom and dad are a couple, 2 or 3 things. And the first one is, as you're standing in there, moving left to right, as you can see in the first illustration, I would say you need to have a little bit more weight on the backside. We call that, Anthony, 60-40. Now, the second thing, number 2, with the front foot, I would also suggest that when we get in that starting stance and we're getting into that what we call that spread stance, I would keep your feet right where they are right now, but I would move the toe to where it is kind of like that yellow line, that short yellow line. And so we want to move the toe back towards the plate a little bit. You're a little bit open with that front foot, and so we want to do that. The next thing that we'll do is that I will show you in number 3 in phase 1. I know you hear so many times about keeping your elbow up. Well, the elbow is going to go up naturally, and that is a big misnomer, or otherwise known as a big mistake that many people, well-meaning people, make in trying to help a hitter hit by telling them to get their back elbow up. And it couldn't be more of a disaster, really, because it causes a lot of what you're going to see in phase 2. Now, I've drawn 2 yellow lines right about at the top of where your hands are. Those yellow lines would represent how I'd like to see your forearm as we look at you in phase 1. So we have your forearms kind of dropping that back elbow, lifting your hands up a little bit, and then of course we have a 60-40 and then a little adjustment with your front foot. Now as we move into phase 2, you can see that I have a big white arrow. And phase 2 would actually be how you would take your hands straight back. And of course that's issue number 4. As you can see, I've got the number 4 by that big arrow. And the red line is an indication of really the direction your hands are going, straight down. And so is your bat head. It just collapses. And here's why. Because in phase 1 with issue number 3, when you have your elbow up, there's no more room to take it. There's nowhere to go but where? What goes up? That's right, must come down. And so it's causing a real problem because you're just dropping. You have nowhere else to go. And you have nowhere else to go, and you drop, and it causes a lot of problems. And that low to high bat, as I did the example at putt-putt, where your bat is coming up and intersecting. You're going to intersect instead of going along. And so I would suggest at this point that maybe you even get some private lessons and help us move into that transition, because you're not too bad in phase 3, but phase 3 is really been set up by phase 1 and phase 2. So if we could get those phases done, you do better in the phase 3, which is going to improve phase 4. Now, in phase 3, the last illustration on the right, you can see I've drawn a red line where your bat is. And of course, if you look at the piece of paper I gave you with the illustration, at this point, your bat head should be above your hands and not below them. And that's how I know you're going to get that low to high, or you're going to intersect that line. That is never going to change unless we correct phase 1 and phase 2. And so many of your little buddies do the same thing. So it's not uncommon. It's okay and it's fixable, but let's get to work on it and we can help you. So let me know if I can be any more help to you. Appreciate you coming and being such a well-mannered young man, and look forward to working with you more later.